Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, for the next few seconds, just have a look at this particular amazing game. So, did you like it? I'm sure you loved it. As a beginner, building this particular game in Python language is not less than polishing and refining your skills. So, let's build this game in Python language in a very simple and easy way. Play this interesting game in your free time. So let's start building this game. So first we are going to import the relevant libraries which will be required for this particular game. So here I have imported the library random. If you have looked at my previous video which was on strong password generator, there also I have used this particular library. This library is so amazing. So first we will have to define a variable which will contain the value which is to be guessed by the player. So you can write simply random.randint, and inside this randint function of random library you need to define the range. Here you need to specify the starting point and the ending point. Here the randint function is going to choose a particular number from this range 1 to 100. So it will pick that number and keep in the variable to guess. Next, we require a variable which will store the total number of moves that the player uses to guess a particular number. So here we have defined the variable moves. Initially the value of the variable move will be 1 because for guessing a number at least one move should be made. Now till this point all the static variables that were required for this particular code are done. Now we will move on to the actual implementation of the logic. So for this we will require the while loop. Now we cannot predict that how much moves the particular player will require to guess a number. Hence we will use an infinite loop which will be done with the help of while true statement. So this will infinitely run until and unless a particular condition will be satisfied. So inside this while loop we will declare a variable guessed. This variable will store the number that is guessed by the user. Note that this variable is dynamic. Every time the while loop executes, the value inside this variable changes. Now we will define the conditions. So first condition will be that if the number that is guessed by the player is exactly equal to the number that is to be guessed, then obviously the player will win. So for that we will print that you have guessed it. Now instead of writing this dry statement, if you try to segregate the skill of the player according to the quickness in correctly predicting it, then you can use this if else condition inside it. So we will say that if moves are lesser than 5, that means the skill set or luck of the person is just next level, then we can praise that person with some beautiful statements like this. Amazing, you have guessed it in this many moves. I hope you know this, that inside the print statement, if you want to print a variable's value within the string statement, then you can use this f strings. You just have to enclose the variable inside curly brackets and initiate the string with an f character. And inside the else statement, that means if the moves are actually greater than 5, then in that case we will say that okay, it's great but not that great, so you can have better luck next time or you can practice more for it. So here I have just used two cases. For making it more interesting, you can use many cases inside it. I hope till this point it is clear. First we have declared an if statement in which we are checking that the number that is guessed by the user is equal to the number that is to be guessed. If yes, then we are segregating it according to the number of moves that the player has actually taken. Now after cheering and praising the player for their skill set, don't forget to put this break statement over here, because if you don't put this break statement, then this while loop will infinitely loop and it won't stop. So don't forget to put this break statement. Now what if the number that is to be guessed is not equal to the number that is guessed by the user? So this will be declared inside the else statement. So inside the else statement we can have two different cases. The first case will be that is the number that is actually guessed by the user is lesser than the number that is to be guessed. So in that case what we will print, we will say that you have guessed smaller value. That means you need to guess a larger value in the next move. And the next case will be in the else statement, which is defined by the number that is guessed by the user is greater than the number that is to be guessed. So in that case, you need to say that you have guessed too large value. In the next move, please try to guess a smaller value. So these are only the three cases that we can have in this particular game. Either the value that is guessed by the user is exactly equal to the number to be guessed, or it can be greater or smaller. So accordingly, we have tried to print the statement. You can surely customize the statements. Now once we define all these conditions, we need to increment the variable moves by 1, because the more the number of times a number is guessed by the player, the more is the number of moves that has got performed by the user. So let's summarize here. First, we have defined the random library, inside which we have used the randint function, which will pick a number from the defined range that is to be guessed by the user. Next, we have defined a infinite loop using while true, and inside that we have written the conditions. First, we have taken the input from the user, which is nothing but the value that is to be guessed. Next, we have defined 3 conditions, and after defining these 3 conditions, we have incremented the moves variable. Don't forget to put a break statement after the correct guess is done by the player. Now let's see the output. So let's try to guess a variable. Here I have guessed 50. Okay, it's too large. Then I'll guess a smaller value, which is 25. Okay, this time it is a small value. So my number will be between 25 and 50. So let's try for 37. Oh, that's great. We have guessed it in just 3 moves. That says that my skills are on the next level. Just kidding, guys. So I hope that you like this simple but very interesting game. I'm sure that most of your concepts have got polished. You can also make an advanced version of this game and let me know in the comment section if you have done it. And if you want me to make an advanced version of it, you can also drop a comment in the comment section. For more such videos, like, share and subscribe to my channel. Also hit the bell icon. Thank you.